At Dangote Group, the global picture is to deliver world-class brands and services designed by state-of-the-art technology and a highly motivated workforce. Today, it can be said without any iota of equivocation that Dangote Group has been consistently growing a global conglomerate with a mission to provide the basic needs of the world. Indeed, for the Dangote Group, innovation and consistent pushing of the ceiling and opening of new frontiers is a way of life. Dangote is in the forefront of building a new Africa which has evolved from the ashes of the past. To remain relevant in the increasingly competitive marketplace, the discerning entrepreneur must be consistently relevant no matter how much the world prefers his brand. After clearly dominating his immediate environment, which is Nigeria and Africa, Dangote Group is steadily on its way to becoming the brand to beat in cement production in the world. Already the largest cement producer in sub-Saharan Africa, Dangote Cement is more than doubling capacity this year to 21 metric tons and intends to reach 43 metric tons in 2015. Indeed, the Dangote Group plans to list its $11 billion cement business on the London Stock Exchange next year. This will be the first listing of any one of Dangote's companies outside Africa. Besides Nigeria, where the Dangote Group has plans and 70% market share, the company is on its way to constructing facilities in 8 African countries, from Senegal to South Africa to Ethiopia. The expansion came at a time of fast growth in Africa, with the forecast by the International Monetary Fund, IMF, that regional economies will expand by 5 to 7.5% this year. Spending on infrastructure and housing have driven demand for cement. Dangote Cement net profit in 2011 was $790 million on revenues of $1.5 billion, according to Nigerian Stock Exchange figures. The Dangote conglomerate plans to diversify big time into other areas. It plans to sell 80% stakes in its food business, which include salt, sugar, flour, rice, and pasta. This will leave the Dangote Group to concentrate on 3 other main sectors besides cement. The mining arm of the Dangote Group will focus on coal, iron, and bitumen. The petrochemical business of Dangote Group will produce methanol, polyethylene, and fertilizer. The infrastructure business of the Dangote Group plans to sell 2,000 megawatts of electricity to Nigeria, which is about half of the country's current capacity. This is when the power sector deregulation process is completed. Dangote will also build a $1.5 billion port near Lagos, which is expected to be the biggest deep-sea port in West Africa. Alhaji Aliko Dangote hopes that, if all his projections, including the listing of his various companies abroad, pull through, he could become the world's 5th richest man. For the 2nd year running, Dangote Cement plc has maintained its leadership position as the biggest quoted company in West Africa. According to the last ranking by London-based Africa Business Magazine, which publishes an annual list of Africa's top 250 companies, Dangote Cement clinched the 1st position in West Africa with a market capitalization of $10.5 billion. Dangote Cement is the fastest growing cement company in Africa, with an aggressive expansion drive in spite of the not too favorable global financial climate. According to the latest ranking of Forbes magazine, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, for the 2nd year running, remains Africa's richest man, with an estimated figure of $11.2 billion. Alhaji Aliko Dangote, who is number 76 on the top 100 billionaires list in the world, has indeed soared unassailably from $2.1 billion in 2009. Import Substitution Industrialization Strategy, ISI, involves producing local goods that were formerly imported. Indeed, this is a trade and economic policy that encourages replacing foreign imports with domestic production. This way, a country reduces its dependence on foreign countries through local production of industrialized products. The Dangote Group is indeed in the forefront of Nigeria's drive to build a virile industrial base to grow the nation's economy. Nigeria is yet to find someone who has the kind of passion and loyalty Alhaji Aliko Dangote has for his fatherland. He believes that foreigners will not invest if locals are not doing it. We must lead or nobody will come. The economy of the United States of America was built by Americans. Therefore, Nigerians should rise up to build our country. This is why today, the Dangote Group, whose employment policy is driven in the main by merit, is the highest employers of labor. Although Alhaji Aliko Dangote, president of Dangote Group, is a Muslim from the north, over 75% of the workforce is made up of Southerners and Christians. Alhaji Aliko Dangote, who devotes most of his time to work, with visits to his factories at weekends, relies so much on delegating functions and the best brains in the different sectors. Today, the Dangote Group enjoys the complement of time-tested and professional workforce who have very strong pedigree in their callings. These include Nigerians, Africans, and other expatriates. After the successful commissioning of the Dangote Cement factory, with capacity to produce 6.0 million metric tons of cement annually in February, performed by President Goodluck Jonathan in the presence of distinguished dignitaries from different spheres of life, the sleepy town of Obajana in Kogi State was a beehive of activities on Monday, June 11, 2012. That was at the groundbreaking commissioning of the Dangote Cement factory, Obajana. Coming exactly a week after the unfortunate experience of the Dana air crash, which cut short the dreams of some Nigerians who would have become the Dangotes of the future, the occasion of the commissioning of the Dangote Cement plant in Obajana could be seen as a veritable platform to get Nigerians back on the sunny side of life and continue with the task of nation building through the creation of wealth, which has been the core mandate of the Dangote Group for years. In his opening remarks, Engineer Joseph Makoju, Alhaji Aliko's special advisor, put into proper perspective the road travelled so far before the success being celebrated today. Engineer Joseph Makoju also advised the federal government to put more effort into the provision of infrastructure like roads and railways, which are a vital component in moving products like cement around, especially in a place like Obajana in Kogi State, with all its infrastructural challenges.
Almost 100% of all our roads are asphalt. The surfacing is asphalt, and asphalt roads have very short lifespan. And they need a lot of maintenance, and we have a poor maintenance culture. And because the roads are bad, you actually find that the little parts of it that are good suffer from excessive overloading. All the load is going on it. I think government should get hold of these reports and comparative analysis and independently investigate the claims. And if after the investigation, when the facts are confirmed, we propose that the 3 tiers of government going forward, should be looking at specifying concrete roads for new road constructions and for maintenance of existing roads. And the one big area coming is the railway expansion program, which should specify concrete sleepers for this race. So in effect, we're really advocating Ministry of Works, Transport, FEMA, state road agencies should adopt concrete road for roads construction.
Alhaji Aliko Dangote, who asked the audience to observe a minute's silence in honor of all those who had been victims of one disaster or the other in our country in recent past, gave a detailed background of the story behind the conceptualization and the final establishment of the Dangote Cement factory. It is clearly the largest in the world today. Alhaji Aliko Dangote gave a few hints into the plans of the company in the nearest future. While expressing his gratitude to the Kogi State and federal government for the role they had played in the success of the commissioning, Alhaji Aliko Dangote promised to continue to cooperate with other stakeholders so that the Dangote brand could be felt in more areas.
In July this year, we'll be commissioning a 1.5 million metric tons plant in Senegal. By the time we complete all these projects by end of 2014, we will have a total capacity of 60 million metric tons. And achieving 60 million tons will really make us the 8th cement producing company in the world.
Captain Idris Wada, the executive governor of Kogi State, who enjoyed the singular privilege of being at the helms of affairs in the state when this epoch-making multi-billion-dollar project was being commissioned, thanked Alhaji Aliko Dangote for his trust in the people of Kogi State. Governor Idris Wada was also full of praises for the great development the project has brought to Obajana and Kogi State, which are known internationally. He enjoined other well-meaning people to emulate the Dangote model of helping to grow Nigeria.
I'm personally convinced that Nigeria will achieve the economic greatness that we all desire at a faster rate if we have more Dangotes in this country. So again, I want to commend Alhaji Aliko Dangote for believing so much in this country we all love by putting his money where his heart is. It is my hope, sir, that the Obajana cement plant will further open up the host communities to rapid development in terms of provision of social amenities and infrastructure projects that will in turn engender economic activities in Kogi State.
President Goodluck Jonathan expressed his joy at being at Obajana in Kogi State, just as he was in Ibeshe, Ogun State in February, to celebrate the strides of a great Nigerian in helping to put a stop to the era of cement importation. President Goodluck Jonathan, who was making his first official outing after the crash of the Dana airline, challenged other manufacturers to emulate Alhaji Aliko Dangote, whom he said has continued to spread his business tentacles across the world.
And let me also use the opportunity again to thank Dangote and Nigerian private sector. We are having a very, very vibrant private sector. Dangote has done well. We are talking about a plant that is the biggest single plant in the world now producing this volume of cement. We are talking about one of the most modern plants from the briefing given to us, that emission of fugitive gases and dust into the atmosphere is almost zero, being one of the most environmentally friendly plants. And the project itself, the social impact is quite positive. Dangote's group alone has employed almost 20 or more thousand Nigerians. And when I honor Dangote with the title of GCON, some people criticize me for doing that. You will agree with me that apart from vice presidents, senate presidents, and chief justice of the federation, who by virtue of their offices are given GCON, more than 10 other Nigerians have been given GCON. And I don't think any of them has impacted this country 5% of what Dangote has done. We'll continue to encourage people like Dangote and captains of industry, because for us to develop as a nation, for us to industrialize, it's not Mr. Government. Government can only come up with policies and programs, but those who really do the work is the private sector. This government will continue to encourage the private sector operators, which for now is becoming very, very robust in our country. Those who have raised criticizing or abusing Jonathan Goodluck to the level of enterprise should continue with that big business. But we will not be deterred by that. We'll continue to encourage the private sector to change this country.
The president, who later commissioned the independent power plant, which will power the operations at the Obajana cement factory, re-emphasized the readiness of his administration to continue to create enabling environments that will encourage industrialization in the country, with the ultimate aim of making Nigeria a self-reliant nation. The president, who was accompanied by Alhaji Aliko Dangote and other dignitaries, performed the groundbreaking ceremony of the next phase of the Obajana cement factory. President Jonathan was later taken on a guided tour round the sprawling Dangote Cement factory in Obajana, Kogi State of Nigeria. One can only congratulate the Dangote Group as it continues to improve the lives of Nigerians in the provision of high-quality products and services, whether it is food, shelter, or communications. Indeed, Dangote is in the vanguard of raising the quality of life of all to make life a little more exciting and worth living for all.